Thea Stilton. Mouseford Academy. A Dream on Ice. Scholastic. Winter Blues. Just as the winter semester began at Mouseford Academy, a cold wind blew across Whale Island. The Thea sisters, 5 students who admired the adventurous Thea Stilton, huddled inside the cozy Lizard Club lounge. "There's nothing to do but read and play checkers," complained Pam. "It's too bad Headmaster de Musses turned down our proposal for the winter games," said Paulina. "That would have been fun." "He said the games might interfere with our studies," said thoughtful Violet. "But we're studying all the time now," Colette said with a sigh. Athletic Nikki jumped up. "Well, just because we can't have winter games doesn't mean that we have to sit around all day," she reminded them. "I'm going to the Gina for a workout." Colette watched her go and sighed. "It's too bad it's not cold enough yet for a deep freeze," she said. "Then we'd be able to go ice skating." "Oh, that's right, Coco," Paulina said, remembering. "Weren't you a competitive skater when you were a mouselet?" Colette's cheeks turned pink. "That was a long time ago," she said. Suddenly, Nikki burst back in, her eyes shining with excitement. "It's snowing! She's snow!" announced. Snowball fight. It seemed like every rodent in the school put on a winter coat, scarf, and mittens and ran outside to play in the snow. Nikki playfully hurled a snowball at another student, a tall rodent named Craig. "Gotcha!" she cried, as it hit him in the shoulder. Pam grinned. "Nice," she congratulated Nikki. Violet and Paulina quickly got to work making a Cenobus. They used stones to make eyes, a nose, a mouth, and buttons. "What do you think?" Paulina asked Colette. "There." "Ha, ha, ha. Gotcha." Colette put a paw on her chin. She said. "There's something missing." "Really?" asked Violet. Colette grinned. "She just needs a touch of pink," she announced. Then she took off her scarf and draped it around the neck of the snow mouse. "Perfect." The Thea sisters stayed outside in the snow until it started to grow dark. Colette shivered. "We should go inside for some hot cocoa," she suggested. "And cookies," Pam added. "All this snowball making has made me hungry." So the 5 friends went inside and gathered in Pam and Colette's room. They sipped steaming cups of hot chocolate and munched on tasty cheddar cookies. Paulina gazed out the window at the falling snow. "It's so pretty," she said. "It reminds me of the mountains back home in Peru." "Does that mean winter's your favorite season?" Nikki asked her friend. "To the ice." The next morning, all of Whale Island was covered with a glistening layer of frozen snow. Students spent the day longingly gazing out the window during classes. When classes ended, Headmaster de Musses officially opened the ice skating pond. The Thea sisters grabbed their skates and raced outside. "V never skated before, but I'll give it a try," Pam exclaimed. When they reached the pond, their friend Ellie waved them over. "Let's get a PHOEB," she called out, holding up her camera, and the skaters huddled together for the shot. "Say cheese," Ellie called, and then she took the picture. A cute little mouselet was next to Ellie, her little sister, Marina. She smiled when she saw Colette. "Click! Can you please help me skate today?" Marina asked. "Of course," Colette replied. "Hey, where's Ruby?" Ellie asked as she lowered her camera. "She loves to skate." Ruby Flashyfur was one of the most popular students at the academy. Her family was also very rich. "Here I am," Ruby announced as she approached the group. My mom had a Isn't It Fabumouse? Special skating jacket made just for me, and I was waiting for it to arrive. Isn't Pabumus 6? She twirled around to show off the green jacket. Her name was spelled out in pink rhinestones on the back. Ruby sailed out onto the ice, gliding across the pond. Ellie skated around, snapping pictures of everyone. Pam's legs wobbled as she slowly skated onto the ice. Is this your first time, too? Asked Shaishin, who wobbled next to her. Get out of the way! Craig yelled, speeding past them both. He and Nikki were playing ice hockey. On the other side of the frozen pond, Colette led little Marina out onto the ice. Holding the mouselet's paws, she patiently helped her keep her balance. When Marina was steady, Colette let go. Look! I'm really doing it. Marina cried out happily. I'm skating! An unexpected guest. Marina! Paulina cheered. Violet skated up to her. Colette is such a good teacher. And a good skater, added Paulina. I wonder why she stopped competing. They were interrupted by a voice behind them. Excuse me, a female rodent said. May I please pass through? I'd like to do some skating. The two friends turned to see their literature teacher, Professor Ratliff, standing there. She wore a cute purple skating outfit. Professor Ratcliffe wasn't the only teacher who had gotten the idea to skate with the students. Professor Sparkle and Professor Marblemouse were lacing up their skates as well. But the biggest surprise came when the school's dance teacher, Professor Ply, walked up to the pond. With her was a blonde mouse who wore her hair in a ponytail. Paulina's eyes grew wide. That's Tara Musinski, the champion figure skater. Violet and Paulina hurried over to Professor Ply and the famed mouse skater. Professor, exclaimed a very excited Paulina. I didn't know you knew Ms. Musinski. Call me Tara, the figure skater said with a smile. Your professor is much more than a friend of mine. Without her help, I never would have become a champion. Violet and Paulina exchanged SURPR/SED glances. Really? Violet asked. We'd love to hear the whole story. Tara was one of my students, Professor Ply explained. She had been training to become a professional figure skater ever since she was a tiny mouselet. She was technically perfect, but often lost points for artist-type performance. Tara nodded. As you know, Professor Ply is a wonderful dancer, and she really helped me improve the creative part of my routines, Tara said. I've always been grateful to her for that. So whenever I get a chance, I come back to visit. Then Tara's gaze wandered to the ice. Who is that skating with the little mouselet? She's very good. Violet smiled proudly. That's our friend Colette. A circle of friends. Tara put on her skates and glided to meet Colette on the ice. You're a very graceful skater, Tara complimented her. Colette blushed. Thank you. I took figure skating lessons for years. Colette used to skate in contests. Marina piped up. Tara's eyes lit up. Really? Come on, do a spiral with me. Well, Colette started to protest, but Tara grabbed her paw. They skated across the pond together. Nodding to each other, they launched into the move. Each skater extended her right leg. Behind her, knee bent, and grabbed her skate. Then both Tara and Colette glided forward on one skate. The other skaters held paws and made a circle around the pair as they twirled on the ice. Ruby was the only one not to join the circle, annoyed because she was no longer the center of attention. Ruby eyed Colette jealously. I know what I need to do, she thought. I'll show Tara Musinski that I'm the real skating star here at Mouseford. Humph! Grab my paw. I can do this. You're doing great. Whoa! She quickly skated toward the circle, breaking through the skaters. Poor Pam lost her balance and fell. Ruby didn't care. She skated into the middle of the circle and began to spin. Tara frowned and skated over to Ruby, a determined look on her snout. "Excuse me, but that was very rude," she said. "No matter how talented a skater you are, you must respect every other skater on the ice." "I should have known you wouldn't appreciate my talent," Ruby shot back, skating off in a huff. "Fine. Humph. You can have the ice all to yourself. I'm tired of skating with the matters anyway." Then she motioned to her group of friends, the Ruby crew: Alicia, Zoe, and Connie. "Let's get out of here." Nikki helped Pam back to her feet, and the skaters formed a circle again. Tara skated into the meal. "So, who else wants to try a move with me?" she asked with a smile. "I would." Marina squeaked happily. "You're on." Tara replied as she offered her percent to the tiny mouselet and led her to the middle of the ICE. AMOUSETASTC idea. The Thea sisters stayed at the pond for hours, skating with Craig and Shin. "What a fabumouse day," exclaimed Pam. "I'm so glad I finally learned how to skate." "I don't think I quite got the hang of it," Shin admitted. "We'll help you," Colette promised. Then she clapped her paws together. "I can't believe we skated with Tara Musinski. She's so talented. And so nice, too," Paulina added. "It would be great if we could do something special for her, to let her know how much we appreciate her visit," Violet said thoughtfully. "Tvi got a great idea," said Craig. "Let's get her some cheese." Paulina laughed. "That's nice, Craig, but maybe not quite special enough." Nikki frowned. "It's too bad Headmaster de Mussis didn't approve our idea for the Winter Games. They'd be so much fun, and we could hold them in Tara's honor." A voice piped up behind her. "Did you say Winter Games?" Professor Ply asked. She was standing there with Tara. Nikki nodded. "We thought we could organize some winter sports competitions. You know, curling, ice hockey, figure skating." "But Headmaster de Mussis thought it would interfere with our studies," Paulina explained. Professor Ply smiled. "Well, I think it's an excellent idea. Leave him to us." The students followed Professor Ply and Tara to Headmaster de Mussis's office. The older mice went inside. They came out a few minutes later, followed by a beaming headmaster. "Students, I have an announcement to make," he said. "Champion figure skater Tara Musinski has just explained to me how participation in organized athletics can help students with academic performance. Therefore, I am pleased to announce that Mouseford Academy will hold its first Winter Games. Let the work begin." Soon, everyone on campus knew about the Winter Games. The next day, the Thea sisters and other students gathered in the Academy's newspaper office to start organizing the events. There was a lot to do. "We should split up into groups," Nikki suggested. "We need a team to make the posters, and a team to come up with an event schedule. First, we need to decide which events we will hold," Violet reminded her friend. "I know," exclaimed Pam. "We can survey the students. I can create a poll online." "Great idea," agreed Nikki. Pam quickly got to work, and by the next afternoon, the results were in. Ellie and her friend Tanya created a colorful event schedule. "What do you think?" Ellie asked, showing the schedule to Paulina. "Headmaster de Mussis said we could have a long weekend for the games." "That's 4 days." cross-country skiing, figure skating, and curling, Paulina read out loud. This is a great schedule. Thanks. Then Ruby and her friends walked in. Stop what you're doing, everyone, Ruby announced. Everyone stopped squeaking and turned toward Ruby. No schedules can be released without the approval of the Winter Games sponsor, Ruby replied. What do you mean sponsor? Paulina asked. Ruby grinned. I mean my mother, of course, she said smugly.